Let me tell you a simple truth about life. Your motivation matters, your discipline matters, but in the long run, your environment always wins. Now, that sent chills down my spine when I heard it for the first time at a business seminar years ago. And essentially, what it means is this is the people that you hang out with, this is where you live, and this is ultimately the standards that you hold yourself accountable to. So, your environment always wins. And I learned this the hard way because this is all about who you become. And when I left university, I went backpacking and I started to tour South America. And we were in a group, me and my friends, of maybe like 12 to 15 people. And I started to see that my version of the world maybe was very different to the other people in the group. And they all had different versions as well, because they had what you would call different programming from how they grew up to schools to the friends that they hung out with. And you started to see maybe people who had different opinions to you, people who had similar opinions to you. So it was really the first time I was in an environment of that nature. Because when you grow up in your own country, you're maybe used to people who are from your country, etc. So this was really interesting to me. Then we went to Australia and we finished our backpacking. We had to get jobs. And once again, that was a different environment as well. We had to basically, for the first time, we were by ourselves. We had to get jobs. We had to get our national ID cards. We had to set up bank accounts, all of that good stuff. And ultimately, that's shaping who you become because you're not reliant on your parents anymore. So, this is always why I say travel is the best thing that you can do when you're younger, if you're in a position to be able to do it. And I remember even viewing apartments. I discovered what furnished apartments were, what unfurnished were. You're having to pay rent for the first time. You're having to budget. You're having to buy your own food. So all of this is really important life skills. But the vehicle is so important. And the vehicle in this case is the job that you have or the work that you do. And my coach, Aidan O'Brien, always says that your work is essentially a vehicle of expression. And unfortunately for me, I was in the wrong vehicle, right? And I learned an absolute ton at the tech company that I went to, but it ultimately went into bankruptcy. So no matter how many business seminars I attended, how much knowledge or skills I had, if your vehicle is sort of failing or going in the wrong direction, there's only so much you can do. So I remember watching a TV show called Suits, and I was literally amazed by a guy called Harvey Specter, who was this top lawyer, and he just seemed to have everything together. And he had standards, right, for how he lived his life and how he worked. And I just thought to myself, I'm not hitting those standards. I'm not really sort of fitting into my potential. So I decided, you know what? I need to leave this company and thank the owner for, I guess, investing in me, even though it was gone into bankruptcy, and have no regrets, right? And have no bitterness as well, because don't get bitter, get better, as the saying goes. So packed my bags and went to London and set up a blank canvas essentially. So I joined a vehicle of expression that I was able to bring out the skills that I had, the all of the business seminars that I went to. I was able to move in with people who were similar to me. I actually ended up moving in with two guys who I worked with. So the house was almost like a tech house. So we were able to exchange ideas, learn about their culture. They learned about my culture. And ultimately, when I went into that office for the first time, I was playing with A players. And it was amazing because I had no hesitation in actually asking the top performers there, hey, can I have a coffee? Because I'd love to pick your brain on how you've been successful. Brought a pen and paper around, noted down exactly what they were doing, watched how they behaved in the office. I saw that the top people were from 8 o'clock till whatever time it may be, were completely switched on all the time. So once again, I started to learn from that because you can't fake your behavior, right? If you're consistently good at what you do, other people are going to pick up on that as well. So I started to almost imitate what these people were doing, started to invest in, once again, training, sales training, especially from Grant Cardone. And I found that that was amazing because that gave me another standard to achieve. And I started applying a lot of the techniques that he had. And ultimately, the environment then started to help me win. And it was the people that I hung out with. It was the conversations that I was having. So I always feel like the environment is super important. And moving country, if you get the chance to do it, 100% do it, because you will be completely outside of your comfort zone, and you will have to fend for yourself, and you'll have to actually go over and meet different people, right? And understand what makes them unique, what makes them different. And it just makes you a lot more of an open person. I always talk about when I moved to Dubai, I met nationalities that I had never hung out with before, that I didn't learn about their countries. And I feel like since I've moved here, also the buildings are quite tall. You start thinking bigger. It's not about even the country that you're in. It could just be the job. Maybe you need to have a new job, or maybe it's the people that you're hanging out with as well. Make sure that you hang out with people who sort of raise your standards as well. So once again, if you're feeling stuck, if you feel like you're misaligned, it might be, like I mentioned in some of the other videos, that your ambitions have sort of outgrown the environment that you're in. So your environment always wins. Be careful who you listen to, be careful who you hang out with, be careful as well where you live, as well, because all of these things are quite important. So, as I said, my name is Gary, and I help ambitious professionals regain clarity, confidence, and direction in their life. If you want to learn more about one to one coaching, hit the channel below, and we'll speak to you soon.